Welcome to Stream Tabulous. So, you've got easy diffusion, or you may have automatic 11, and you want to have your face on a character that you're doing. That's what a Lora model is for. So you have your primary models, and then you have your Loras. Your Loras are models that are used with the primary model. You may have it for clothing, you may have it for background, or in my case today, what we want to talk about is using it for your face. Now, of course, you're going to need to install Kohya SS. And to do that, you're going to have to do a couple of things. Of course, as usual, I do waffle. Sometimes I get a little bit muddled up in my head. I don't have a script. So if I'm repeating something, you can just skip forward. I don't have sponsors. I don't have any Patreon. I'm not getting paid for this. If you are getting ads from YouTube, you shouldn't. I've disabled that. But if you are, install an ad blocker by all means, because I get nothing for this. And yeah, let's get on with the show, and then I am going to show you how to install Kohya SS and the other programs that you'll need to install to actually use it. So let's get on with the show. Okay, now we're going to have to install a couple of things. We're going to have to install Git, and we're going to have to install Python. Git is basically, think of it like open source. There's a lot of people working on codes, and there's a lot of people working on different things. And when it comes to easy diffusion, stable diffusion, a lot of those files are on GitHub, and Kohya SS is also on GitHub. And they do run through command line interfaces. They're installers, command line interfaces. They do try to make it a little bit easier for you with the way they work, but you definitely need Python, and you're definitely going to need Git. What is Python? Well, if you've heard of JavaScript and if you've heard of C++, that is what Python is. It is basically a program coding, which is new and used by a lot of people to make better programs that existed before, faster, smoother, more powerful than ever. So we're going to need that. So we'll move across, and the first thing we're going to install is Git. So we'll come over here, and we're on the Git now. So we just downloaded it, which is right here, because we're downloading it for Windows. And we're just going to install that. So we're just going to click Next. We're going to install Git. We're just going to leave it as it is. I don't mind that. I'm not going to touch anything. I'm just going to let it run. Git. What is this? Choosing the default editor, Git, Not going to touch anything there. I'm going to leave that. Let Git decide. Sounds good to me. Recommended. We'll leave that. Yep, we'll leave that. And we're not going to change anything, because I don't know what I'd be changing if I did it. So we're just going to next. I'm going to keep going, and we'll let it run. And yeah, if you don't know what you're clicking, the best is just leave it on its default. They make these installers so people that are a bit simple like me and don't understand code and all these little who's and do's that's built in can use it. So we don't need to see that. We're done. After you've done that, we want to come across and we want to install Python. I've actually installed this already. Again, it's one of those things you just go next. If there is something on it to install, I would recommend that. So if you come down, this is the installer here. We could click modify. No, we won't do that. The first time you run it, down the bottom here, there'll be another option. Just click that box as well. Make sure that you do all the options. So there is one unchecked. Tick it. Okay. Yep, we want to cancel that. Okay. After we've done that, we want to come over to GitHub. Yep. And we want to download this here. Now, there you can use Git pull to do it. In this case, what I have done is I've just downloaded the zip. And after I've downloaded the zip, I've come across and I've extracted the contents of my zip file. Just bring that over. I've extracted the contents of my zip file to here, and I've just renamed it, so it should look like this. Now you also want to come through because if you have a weaker graphics card, anything NVIDIA which is under a gig, under 8 gig, you're going to need to scroll down until you see the word, there we go, CUDA. Okay, we want to download this file here, and once that file is downloaded, we want to extract that file, and we want to drop that extracted file into here. Okay, now it should look like this. We don't want a subfolder and a subfolder. We want it to look like that. So if you've got subfolders, take the subfolder out and just make it as I have here. Okay. Okay. It's future me. I'm just going through the editing and I realized I forgot to mention this. Lot of pain, a lot of neurological conditions going on. It really affects the brain badly. So a lot of speech problems in this video. I'm so sorry, getting words wrong. So just editing, putting everything together, and I'm just going to stop for a moment. You do need a NVIDIA graphics card, as I posted coming up on the screen in the beginning. You will need to come across to the NVIDIA development, nvidia.com. If you type in to Google CUDA toolkit, the first link will bring you to this page. You'll get this, just press the cross here, and then all you're going to do is come through, select your Windows operating system, select your architecture, select the version of Windows that you're running, and download the exe for local and install that. What that's going to do is it's going to put specifically CUDA drivers on your system for your NVIDIA graphics card, and that's going to allow this program of Kohya SS to interface and talk directly to the CUDA drivers, so it can do its job more efficiently. You can use it without the kit, but the time to do the render to create the model is astronomically larger, to the point of hours. So you really do want to put this in. You'll find this kit and having these drivers installed will actually also speed up easy diffusion, stable diffusion. So it's as simple as just download it and install it next, and that's that. So now we'll go back across and show you how to actually set up Kohya SS. Okay. Now with Git installed and with Python installed, and we have dropped this folder in, we should be right to come down to setting it up. So we come down to setup. Let's bring this over. Hopefully it goes well. We're going to press 1, and then we're going to do the recommended. Okay. We have an error here and it wants an older version. Incompatible version required. Okay, so we may have to actually uninstall Python and install an older version. So we'll take a look at that quickly. Okay, we've got everything else. It's just that one error. And we can come down, we can actually take a look at if Windows is actually trying to install anything. So if we go to our task manager, we go to our performances, and we come across here, we should be able to see what's going on. Oh, it is downloading files, and it is downloading a lot of files. So we're going to let this run for a couple of minutes, and we're going to come back and we're going to see if this makes a difference, because it's already said that it's found Python, and despite the fact that it says incompatible version here, we can actually see that it's doing something here. So we're going to sit back and we'll come back to this and we'll see what happens. And if it doesn't do anything, then we'll uninstall Python and we'll find an older version on their website and install that older version, the 3.9 or 3.10 version. So we'll let this run for a bit. Okay, so we've let it run, and honestly for me it's probably been around about 15 minutes now. If we come over to here, we can see that it's actually continuing. It's installing its Xformers and it's continuing. And I've left the network in the background because these don't have the progress bar on it. So the only way we really know that it's actually doing anything is by seeing our internet usage and seeing that it's actually downloading. Okay, like even if you go to the progresses, it doesn't really show the command line and say, hey, this is actually using it. So this is really the only way we can monitor that something's happening or something big's happening. So yeah, the first time you run these sort of programs where you've downloaded them off GitHub and they're running through command line interface, they need to go online and finish the installation processes of downloading certain things. So to what I'm aware of, Xformers is the way it uses the RAM of your GPU, your graphics system on your computer. So yeah, we just let it run, and we just wait. And of course, I'd probably leave it for about, depending on your internet connection. Mine's pretty sad. I mean, literally, my high speed is 50 megabits, and what it's getting here is about its normal. So that's Australia. But yeah, based on your internet connection, I would still say probably give it half an hour if you've got anything better than my internet connection. And then if it's not doing anything, then maybe look at trying something. Again, I don't think this is going to play havoc because we do have a newer version than what it says is required. But you could go on and download 3.10.6. Which is what I've got on one of my other computers, and it installed fine on that one. And yeah, so we'll just let it run. And again, we'll keep checking up on it. And yeah, when we get to the next part, we'll show you. So we can see that it's still going. I'm not having a problem with it at the moment. It's probably another 6-7 minutes at the moment. I just wanted to say that you will see this drop down to the kilobytes. It's not always going to be pulling massive packets, and you can see that's just done a little bit more. So as long as we're seeing activity here, we're going to let it keep running. Yeah, obviously I've got Windows Explorer in the background. It might be refreshing every now and then, but we'd still want to give it the benefit of the doubt that it's actually doing something. And as we can see, as I'm talking, we are getting activity here, even though it's in the low kilobytes. So we've got to have some patience without having a load bar and just give it that time that it actually needs. It's just a little bit of patience. Now, it's pulling this off the internet. I've noticed this before, that you do get some warnings here and there, but I found that they haven't made a difference to the actual program. I find the first time you run the GUI bat, it usually will go through and update some more files. It's not uncommon for these to have little warnings and little errors here and there and still work. So don't overstress. I'm an overstressor myself. So if you're like, oh geez, this isn't working, or what's this? I can completely relate with that. It's sort of like, just try to take a deep breath in, relax, let it run, and yeah. So once this is actually finished, it will come up with more options that we need to go through. So we'll just hang with it, and we'll come back when we get to that bit. And yeah, you're in for the journey with me. So, oh, there we go. It's already come across to it, so we're good there. Okay, so yeah, that's fully installed. All we got to do now is that option 2, avoid unless you really need it. I do need it. I have a 1070 in this system, and it is 8 gig. And I don't know how it will go with Kohya SS. I've run it on the 1060 Ti, and that's 8 gig as well, and I've had to install these files on that, and that one seems to work okay. So I do want to run it on a low-end system. This is my low-end system that I use for the streaming, and I want to run it on this because I want to see what most people's systems are capable of. And if you've got a fairly modern computer out there and it's got an AGP port in it, and you don't have a NVIDIA graphics card at the moment, you can probably go on the second-hand market and pick up a 1070 fairly cheap. Probably even get a 2060 cheap. Or maybe just go out and buy one of the lower-end new cards and, you know, use this to show you how to use it. It is a fun program to do if you're into graphics and that, and you don't mind putting a little bit of money into your PC, as I do. Then yeah, this is well worth it. So we're going to come through here, and we want to install those CUDA files that we put. So I'm going to come over there, click on that, and 2. I'm going to hit enter. Do that for me. Checking. That was quick because we downloaded the files. We are done. So that is apparently it. And we can see they're still going in the background, but that isn't actually this. This is actually finished. It might be talking in the background. So we're done there. We'll close that. You can see this is still, there we go, drop to 0, it's 8. This is my Internet Explorer. This is what I mean. You may not see activity and it may be refreshing, and you have to have that patience. Now we've done that, so we can close this. Okay, so now that we've got it installed, we can open up our Kohya folder. So we're in here, so we go to the Kohya SS. Now to run it, we come down to our GUI BAT. That stands for Graphic User Interface. Now it's going to open itself up in our Explorer. If we run this, it's going to come up with a little, HTTP.1 blah 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 blah. You'd copy that and put that into your browser to actually access it. But what we can do is we can right click on this folder and just go edit, and it will open it up in our text pad. And if we come down to here, where it says CMD, so that's our command line interface, we're going to put in, I'm just going to move that, take that back, -- in browser. That's going to save us from actually copying and opening that URL, so we won't have to copy and paste it. It should just automatically open up. So we will now save that, we'll close that. Now when we run that, it should just automatically open up. Okay, I've got the NVIDIA toolkit installed, so yep, I've talked about that. I find that's important. There we go, that's it. So normally we'd copy this here and paste it into our graphic user interface, but she already launched on my other monitor, and that's it. That's Kohya SS and how to install it. Now in a moment I will show you how to use it. Now that's going to be more fun, and hopefully we can make that easy for you so it's less of a headache. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there. I've been through them. Many of them are out of date. This one's probably going to become out of date really fast. But one of the other problems is a lot of the videos that are out there are using the extra large models, so the SDXLs. So that stands for Simple Diffusion Extra Large. And I tried to create a model using it based on one of the videos, and the person's like, it took me 40 minutes. Yeah, on his 4090 with something like 32 gigs of RAM. For me, I was getting 1% an hour. So it's 100 hours to create a model. That's a lot of power. I'm on a pension. Power bills are horrible at the moment. So yeah, waffling. So yeah, I will show you how to do this the best way that I have found. Okay, so we'll get to that in a moment. Okay, so that's a complicated one, isn't it? How to put Kohya SS on your computer and set it up, and the other programs which are actually needed to get that one running. So it's a bit of a more involved setup because of the way it talks to your NVIDIA graphics card to use those CUDA drivers. So yeah, I've a lot of pain at the moment. My neurological condition is just playing havoc on me. Creates a lot of stress, under a lot of stress. So a lot of speech problems. So sorry. A lot of little mistakes here and there. Not so much with the setup, just in my speech and my memory of getting things a little bit out of order. So coming through, just editing it all, getting it into the right order to help you guys out. the little pauses and the little thoughts of them of, is this still working, what's going on, I like to leave in, because that's a real world scenario of what you guys out there are going to be encountering as well. A lot of the videos that you see on how to install this stuff are cut, and it makes it look a lot easier than what it is, and you don't see those little headaches of the, oh wait, is it still going, or what's going on here. Those pauses, you're not seeing those little errors pop up, or if they're popping up, they're just going straight past it, not talking about it. I want to show that real world and let you guys know that I'm in the same boat as you guys when it comes to these sort of programs. The command line interfaces, they're not so straightforward, they're a little bit complex. For me, I've watched a bunch of videos, and honestly, one video alone wasn't enough because it was leaving parts out and it was just confusing, and I watched a bunch of them and then basically I worked it out from there. So what I'm trying to do with this video is give you that complete guide to get Kohya SS on your system. And the next video I will show you guys how to use it and hopefully dumb that down as much as possible and make it nice and easy so you can get your heads into a model, or make a model of what you want and use that in easy diffusion. So yeah, please remember to like, subscribe, get the bell on. With all the pain and all the issues I was having, I completely forgot to mention that. The likes really help me out. YouTube algorithm is absolutely a nightmare, and I can't get my videos to enough people. It's not getting enough views at the moment, so without your likes, that's not really going to happen. Sorry about that. So if you guys could like the video and get the bell on, it'd be absolutely appreciated. And of course, also don't forget to join the Facebook group. It's about photo restorations, but it's also primarily photo restorations are art. And unlike a lot of the other groups, I'm okay with AI because that is just a tool, and used the right way, it can really help what we're doing, as I've shown in one of the other photo restoration videos. So yeah, join up with that group and you know, learn how to do it and join us in helping others and test it out for yourself. And I will see you in the next Streamtabulous video. Thank you for watching my video and sticking around to the end. If you like my videos, it'd really help me out if you could like and subscribe. It helps the YouTube algorithm to push my videos out there to more viewers, which in turn helps me and helps everyone. So thank you for watching my video and hanging around to the end, and I will see you in the next video.